it's all fun. We do this comedy stuff. Vince has his ha 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 stuff
Yeah.
that he does, but he's like, it's nonsense and it doesn't sell as well as just good stories.
If Jim Cornette wasn't barred from entering Canada or whatever the fuck, and by the way, we can start the episode on me trashing Jim Cornette. I don't
Okay.
give a shit. I hate Jim Cornette.
Do you?
I hate Jim Cornette, and I hate Jim Cornette people.
Oh, you hate me then?
Yeah, like, listen, but you don't care about the product today. Like, you're not, paying attention.
No, but I do listen to Jim Cornette talk about the product. I listen to a lot of talk about the product now,
It
way
makes
more
sense.
than I watch.
I don't watch any WWE whatsoever at this point, but I do know what's happening roughly
yeah.
because of the sphere, we'll say. But him saying comedy doesn't sell, literally Danhausen. Do you know who Danhausen is?
That sounds so familiar. I've heard him mentioned.
Because he's literally was invited to the New York Knicks championship parade celebration.
Yeah, and he's a comedic wrestler.
It's a great character. It's like kind of Bo Rat meets a vampire.
Oh, okay.
So he was sent from Transylvania to be big wrestling star and whatever. And so he curses people. And he carries around a jar of teeth, which is very fun. And he got booed like shit on his entrance. They kind of fucked up and made it like this really big deal out of him showing up in WWE. And like I don't think they realized how unfamiliar people were with him. Yeah. So they like booed his debut, but then now he's like crazy over. And like he's one of the highest selling t-shirts. Like intrinsically, this is the other thing I hate about Jim Cornette. It's like he drew houses of like 3,000. Like I just not gonna listen to a guy who never individually managed to get a company to draw like that. Like, you know, he managed one of the hottest tag teams in the history of professional wrestling. Fine. But like that was them, dog. Like, and I'm not saying he wasn't a great heater, but like as a booker and a guy who ran a company, I don't know. I'll trust Hulk Hogan. Thank you. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's
so one thing. I think you're wrong about Jim Cornette. I think you know, because he still, besides managing that one company, he did have respect in the business, and people thought his
he's
ideas
a backstage
were good
guy.
and stuff. Yeah, exactly.
This was brother love.
Yeah. But one thing I've been starting to come around on, I was a believer for years in Vince Russo hate, and I'm like, I think Vince Russo was a great part of the business. He was great. He sold really well. He was a part of a lot of great eras.
Well, and what Vince Russo, it was exactly what Cornette has wrong. When he says comedy doesn't sell, not everyone on the show can be Stone Cold Steve fucking Austin.
Yeah.
You can't just have a whole show of, I'm a badass motherfucker who's going to come to town.
Yeah.
And if Jim Cornette ran a wrestling promotion today, it would all be 6'6" guys who can't move, just fucking grappling each other and being like, I'm a real man, tough fella from what, like, get out of here. Like, it's suspension of disbelief. Wrestling people, I'll put him right in the same category. I grew up a huge wrestling fan, and I was the biggest Bret Hart mark in the fucking world. I love Bret Hart. Bret Hart is a whiny, too serious fucking, like, stop. You're a mark, Bret. You're a mark. It's not this serious. Guess who was the best wrestler? The guy who sold the most money, because your job as a wrestler is carny. You're a carny. That's the point.
You don't think that's like the whole argument of, okay, well, who's the best comedian? It's the one who sells the most, and most comedians would say that's not correct.
But I think there's like a level of what we're doing. I don't want to go ahead and put us on the same level of art as professional wrestling. Do I think there is an art to professional wrestling?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So can you digest it at a higher level? Yeah, sure. But like, Kevin Hart's still the best comic on the planet because he's the most people like him. Is he my favorite comic? No.
Yeah.
But like, what else are you gonna decipher it from? You know, like, and things go into that. Did Kevin Hart have a bunch of help, and is he an industry plant, and is he whatever? Okay. Is Roman Reigns an industry plant who had a lot of help and whatever? You could argue the same thing.
At least a nepotism thing.
Yeah, nepotism and whatever. Yeah, exactly. I mean, the whole character is based on nepotism.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, that's the whole idea, right? So, Yeah, I don't know, man. Jim Cornette just irks me with that shit because it's just, it's the same as the edgy comics. To me, he's Baxter being in the edgy club going, all the fucking wokes around, like, and you're just like,
too much. I get it.
You can have everything. A nice rainbow of shit is nice.
I get it. I just don't think, like, here's my thing about Jim Cornette where I'll defend him is as much as I actually think you're making a valid point, 95% of the things he says now about what's wrong with wrestling, I think is right.
But Jim Cornette's also just a dude from the 70s. So Kennedy watches AEW with me, right? She relates to Darby Allin because he's like a goth guy who skateboards and does crazy shit.
Okay.
He's like the Mick Foley kind of Jeff Hardy stunt guy right now. She relates to Jungle Boy Jack Perry because he comes out to Tarzan Boy. He has a fun entrance, and she likes his tag team partner Luchasaurus, who is a dinosaur. And you want to know why he's great, Luchasaurus? Because the real guy behind Luchasaurus has his master's in prehistoric history. So he actually literally knows everything about being a dinosaur.
Yeah,
he's like incredibly articulate on being a dinosaur. And she likes the guy that Cornette criticizes more than anybody, Pockets, Orange Cassidy, who is the Stone Cold Steve Austin of our era. Like, he is millennial Stone Cold Steve Austin. Stone Cold was a badass because he told his boss to go fuck himself and whatever. Orange just puts his hands in his pockets and doesn't try very hard. Like, he's a slacker. He's the perfect millennial answer to Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's not a try hard. His rebellion is, he's just nonchalant.
Oh, that's the saddest thing. That makes me so sad.
But that's what millennials are.
Yeah, but I'm a millennial. I think I'm direct middle millennial.
Sure, maybe millennial to Gen Z or whatever.
Yeah.
Sure, but like
he's a millennial, but I think that
is geared more towards a Gen Z.
Yeah.
But it is, the rebellion now isn't, if you go to work now and flip out on your boss, you're corny. That's cringe, right? But if you go to work and just don't try hard and don't give a shit and kind of laugh everything off, that's the cool guy, Stone Cold's corny now.
That makes me, you know what? That makes me so sad because I still think, how is that not cool? To like,
because you let him get to you. Because the boss won.
Smiles and cries. Remember that story means a lot to me. Is the training day?
Yeah.
You got to control your smiles and your cries.
Yeah.
So I get it, but it's just I kind of miss the days of, which was, I guess, like the late 90s, early 2000s of like, I don't give a fuck meant I don't give a fuck. I'm going to punch people and things. And
but that was just a different, listen, that's what we were as a culture at the time. It was Jerry Springer. It was South Park. Just came out before it was like a social commentary show. It was just a cartoon with a talking piece of shit, and cartoon said fuck. Like it was MTV, Jackass, whatever. It was Jackass era. Everything had to be extreme. Everything had to be whatever. And it was like, here's some tits and stuff. And they don't do the here's some tits anymore. There's tits all over, but you're not supposed to like pay attention to the tits as much.
That's such a fucking true statement. I for some reason, I'm in the mood of arguing today, but I can't argue with that at all. I was thinking about that recently. I'm like, the tits in my day, like I was like looking up like a creep old Trish Stratus sexy videos the other day. I was just sitting on my phone being like...
By the way, that is a woman who aged incredibly.
Oh, yeah.
I would say mature Trish Stratus, way hotter than like prime WWE prime Trish Stratus.
I think, I guess, in certain ways, and then in other ways, it's like if I'm at a strip club, I want... prime Trish Stratus,
I guess,
for
sure.
Yeah. Or if I'm like walking around on the street and I'm just being like a dude who's always hot women, prime Trish Stratus. You're right though.
Yeah.
If I was like at a bar and I'm like, there's a beautiful woman over there. Now Trish Stratus.
Yeah.
But she went the yoga route, which is very smart.
And by the way, wonderful person. When I worked with Mick Foley by like 2013 or something like that, 12 maybe. she came to the show. She wanted to see. She lives here, and she was like, "Oh, I'm going to come check out the show."
She likes Mick a lot. Like,
I think everyone likes Mick a lot.
Yeah. But I've heard her talk in interviews about how much she likes Mick.
So she came, sat in the audience, like we, kind of ushered her in a little quietly. She sat in the audience, and then at the end, she sat with Mick and did autographs for like an hour and a half, just on the fucking house, just as like I'm here. That's what I love wrestlers, man. They just understand the like obligation and the gift they've been given to be wrestlers for the most part. Yeah. It's why I kind of turned on CM Punk a little bit. And I had a very positive experience with CM Punk.
Yeah, but he's a cunt.
It's just like, man, it actually doesn't matter what you do. Like, and it doesn't matter what we do either. This doesn't matter. Stand-up doesn't matter. Like, wrestling doesn't matter. We can't take for granted the fact that we're all doing a thing that ultimately doesn't need to happen. Like, the world keeps moving. Like, we always go, oh, humor is important for yeah, but like, on the way to the concentration camp, it's, you know what I mean? Like, you don't need we don't need to charge $25 for the, like, no, you're supposed to have funny people and there's supposed to be levity in the world. This is not like a necessary function of society, right? So like, we're both superfluous art forms. So like, be grateful that people pay for a superfluous art form. It's just, so I knew the airport. Have I ever told you my CM Punk story?
No.
I ran into him at LaGuardia Airport. It was like, must have been a weird time.
You're dressed how he dresses now, by the way.
But my whole thing when I lived in the city of Chicago was...
this is how they dress?
I had a hashtag not CM Punk because everyone in Chicago looks like fucking CM Punk. And I used to run into him pretty frequently. I was a big biker at the time. Like, I got around everywhere in Chicago on my bike. And he was a big... like racing bike down the lake. So I'd see him racing his bike down the lake a lot. But I run into him at LaGuardia Airport, and I knew his whole he doesn't like to be run into at airports thing. So it was literally like full empty corridor, just CM Punk coming this way, me coming this way, nobody else.
Yeah.
And so would have been a perfect opportunity to be an autistic retard and just money in the bank. But I knew his thing, so I gave him like a polite little nod, and I kept it going, and that was it. And then I went. I think he's probably on the same flight as me because I was living in Chicago at the time. I was flying back to Chicago, and the flight was delayed, I think, because otherwise I would never have even thought about buying a fruit and yogurt parfait at an airport.
Okay. Yeah.
But I went to go buy a parfait.
They're good.
So I was clearly, but it was like $11.
Yeah.
Like I would.
Gotcha.
I'm too. I hate buying food at the airport. You don't get me on that.
Yeah.
So I go to buy this whatever, and saddling up next to me in line is CM Punk, who covers my parfait for me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So like doing the correct response got a positive outcome.
Yeah.
But I'm a little like, come on, man. It's just, and he does strike me as a Bret Hart guy. That it's it's a little too serious for me. Like, have some fucking fun with it. You're a pro wrestler. You got to do the silliest thing in the fucking world for a living. That's cool. You don't need to be so serious and so bitter about everything. Like, chill out.
I will say I've always thought, to be fair, I was kind of on my way out by the time this happened, but the pipe bomb. One of the most overrated things that I've ever heard.
Yeah?
I listened to it like after it happened, and I'm like, that's fine.
Well, and now it's like, you just don't like, and what's so funny is just things move so quickly that now if you're going to do a pipe bomb, it'd have to be like, Vince took a shit on that lady's head.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, the darkness of WWE has come out in such an extreme way now. That like, just being like, you don't push the guys we like is like kind of a silly fucking complaint at this point,
There was a time in my life where I thought, it's not that I thought kayfabe was stupid, but it was like, I was like, I think it needs to die so that people who don't like wrestling have to stop saying, it isn't real. And I love the argument somebody first made where it's like, Game of Thrones isn't real. We're watching a show. Like, why do you have to discuss this is not real? It's dragons. And this is also a guy who
to
caught
me,
on
you
fire.
sound retarded when you make that argument. Like, when somebody is like, oh, you know that's fake, it's like, now I think you're dumb.
Yeah.
Like, you are not insulting me in any way whatsoever. Yeah, of course it's fake. And, like, all of it is. Insufferable. And by the way, the parallels between these things should be noted.
Yeah.
The Bachelor and Monday Night Raw both run on Monday night for 3 hours. Do you know why? Because they're just both wrestling. One is wrestling for guys and one is wrestling for chicks.
Yeah.
And like people who, what's even more embarrassing is that people will watch reality dating shows and that will inform their dating.
Yeah. They
Like
learn
they'll
lessons.
actually actualize things in their real life from this fictionalized dating show. Whereas there's not a guy in the world who gets up every day and is like, gotta say my prayers, drink my milk, and eat my vitamins to live the 3 Hulk commandments. No, we're not. Everyone just went, oh, Hulk, yeah, maybe I'll work out a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, nobody like changed their lives because of professional wrestling. Nobody makes decisions in their daily basis based on what The Rock says that you should, you know what I mean? Like, but there are batshit girls that will be like, I date like Rebecca from season 4. She didn't take any shit. And it's because she was told not to take any shit, you fucking idiot. Like the whole thing is
screen time.
Yeah. You know what was great is there was to tie that all in, there was a wrestler, Kenny King. He was a Ring of Honor guy. I think he had a cup of coffee with WWE maybe, but he got on The Bachelor or one of them.
Oh, okay.
I want to say The Bachelor, but so I watched, that got me. I remember watching a little bit of that season and he got eliminated right away almost because you could tell he was just working. He's a wrestler.
Yeah.
He's smart. He's like, I'm not going to win this and I don't give a shit. I'm going to make sure I get over my shit, that people know I'm Kenny King, the professional wrestler. And his thing, I think he like eliminated himself because he was too good of a dad. I think that was the thing he played, is like, I can't be away from, and it's like the entirety of The Bachelor is like fucking 10 days. Like, it's not that long of a process altogether.
Even if it's longer, I always find it insane. Like, I watched a show. It's a great show. It's a reality show called Outlast.
Okay.
And it's like Survivor with like teams, and you have to win with a team. There's no solo winning.
Okay.
That's essentially what it is. And one guy left the show because, yes, it's really tough and arduous on your body, but also he made the excuse of like, I just miss my family and my kids and my wife. And I'm like, there's no way, like, my girl would be watching this being like, we're fine. Stay and win the $1 million. That's way more important than missing us. Like, stay.
Also, by the way, do you know how much work you're going to have to go to replace the money that you could win from this show?
Yes.
You could take a year off work to be with your kid if you just win.
He was up for winning. Even if he won with his whole team, you can eliminate more of your team and take more money. But minimum, if you stay till the end, you win $250,000.
Year salary. Probably
for rich people.
Yeah.
For well off people, people doing good.
Yeah.
2 years salary.
Yeah.
Most people 3 year salary minimum, maybe 4, probably 4.
Yeah, he could have middle class taken 4 years off of work and watched his kid grow up, and instead he had to.
Yes,
it's crazy.
I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
He could have took all that time off, watch his kids grow up,
literally
T-ball.
It could have paid for him to be a stay-at-home dad for the entire duration of it, and like actually properly raise your kids. That's why Fish Tank season 3 is, now we had Bert, the winner of Fish Tank season 3 on the show, but I never actually sat down to watch season 3. I actually hadn't finished season 3 before having Bert here. I had watched season 2 first, and then I watched season 1, and now because I'm not a watch it live guy. That's too much for me. I'm an episodes guy. Season 3 is maybe one of the most important and intelligent pieces of art I've ever seen in my life.
Okay.
Fish Tank season 3 is fucking incredible. Like, and it has completely, so when I booked, I had a weird ride with Sam Hyde when it came to booking him. Initially, when I was thinking about booking him, somebody formerly in our circle went to go see him in Buffalo and came back and was like, this is just hate speech. Like, we shouldn't book this.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, okay, oh shit, whatever. And so I didn't. And then Sam got with an agent that I'm friendly with. And you know what? Honestly, more than anything, it wasn't even just that the act was offensive. It was also just that working with him made me very nervous that, like, he could just be pranking. Like, like, is he even going to show up? I don't, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, there's so much uncertainty in his world. It made me nervous.
Would feel like booking Eric Andre like 15 years ago.
Where you're just like, by the way, I worked with Eric Andre about 14 years ago. Okay, yeah. Do you want to know what happened?
What?
So I'm opening for him a comedy bar for the first night. I'm supposed to do 10 minutes, but Eric Andre's not here yet. So the booker, I didn't book Eric, but the booker tells me, hey, just keep going until we give you until he's here, we'll give you the red light and then stop.
Yeah.
So 10 minutes, 15 minutes, having a great time.
Yeah.
No stress. 20 minutes. At about 20, 25 minutes, I now have to address with the audience. So I'm like, hey, I'm not being a cunt. I just want to be very clear because it was like a host, 10 minutes, then I was going to do 10 minutes, then Eric Andre, right? So, like, they're starting to feel now like this is a little long of a set for a fella opening for a fella.
Yeah.
So I had to do that. Also, you know how it is. A 10-minute set is a very different proposition from a 25, 30-minute set.
Yeah.
You got to kind of bring them on a different journey through both those things. Like, I'm a pretty dark act, so there's a level of, like, self-deprecating horseshit I got to do at the beginning to be likable if I'm doing that long. Whereas for 10 minutes, I can kind of just, you just kind of do your jokes for 10 minutes, and if they like them, they like them, and you get out of there. So I'm now 25 minutes in, and I've done nothing to make these people like me for this long. So I got to kind of explain that to them. I ended up doing 35 minutes before he shows up.
You're middle lining.
Yeah. 35 minutes is a very difficult amount of time to overcome, right? So anyway, he goes on, he does fine. The next night, I'm working with him at Underground, the weed club I ran at the time. Now, this time I'm literally driving with him. I give him a ride. I remember very specifically we stopped. Neil Hamburger was in town at the same time. So I got to meet Neil Hamburger, but like not in his Neil Hamburger-ness.
You mean the guy who used to do Hamburger?
No. That's Hamburger Jones. That's different.
Okay.
Neil Hamburger was like a real alt anti-comedy guy. Okay. Gary used to love booking him at Comedy Bar. So we met up with him. We get to the venue. So he's fucking there, right? He goes, I'm going to grab a burger. Think nothing of it. Same scenario, host, 10 minutes, me doing 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Not there again. 10 minutes.
You guys drove up together.
20 minutes.
Yeah.
30 minutes. I get a full 45-minute set in a room. By the way, I can annihilate. Like, this is my home room. And these are Eric Andre fans. They've never even seen me before. So it's not like I'm even in a difficult situation. I'm murdering for 45 minutes. He finally shows up. And he comes on, and that one, at least, he ate shit, thankfully, because I was like, he deserves this one. He deserves to eat shit on this one. And he did. But anyway, sorry. So booking Sam, I was a little like, I don't know, man, am I being evil? And there's times in Fish Tank where you're like, this feels genuinely kind of evil. Like, the torture house criticism of it, I think, if you watch season 5 with Bam, I don't know why I'm pointing over there. If you watch season 5 with Bam Margera hosting instead of Sam, you understand completely how much Sam meant to the show, how much more intelligent Sam made the show, how much more Sam made it not a social experiment in because everyone always compares it to the Stanford prison experiment, but he was it was more thoughtful than that. It was it's like a curated version of that, where it's not just you're prisoner 1, you're prisoner 2, you're prisoner 3. You're fucking Binks, you're Mizzy, you're Alex B, you're Bert, and your torture is so specifically tailored to your problem. Mm-hmm. And so the reason season 3 is so great, a few of the seasons have tricks.
He's a scarecrow. Like Scarecrow douses from Batman. He douses people with a fear agent, but it scares you in your way only.
He's kind of the Scarecrow. People would think he's like the Riddler or the Joker, but that's actually a good observation. It is your specific, like he gives Bert so many perfect schizophrenic little missions on it. Like Bert is nonstop fun watching. Like Bert never stopped for a second being an entertaining watch. I get why that season made so much money, because even if you watched it live, if you just clicked on Bert, he was doing something. Like he was never stopped. And so anytime it was boring, they'd just go Bert to room, whatever, just make it. But like it was so well thought out. I'm not even done it yet. But what I love about it is that it was influencers. So you get that all the people who want to be on Love Island or Big Brother or any of these shows, that it's breaking apart the psyche of that person. And it's so much more satisfying to see that, because there's such a wealth of like insecurities and something wrong with the type of person who wants that to be their life. So season 3 is literally
something.
It's like, it is incredible. And like I feel like when people watch wrestling and go, that's fake. People that watch Fish Tank and the only thing they take away from it is the torture and the piss and the shit and the puke, don't get it. They've completely missed the point. The creator kind of misses the point. Like Jed has created a great thing. Jed Neptune is really kind of the creator of Fish Tank.
Oh, okay.
And he's created a very interesting platform, but Sam was why it was like fascinating. And it's made me feel way better about booking Sam, because you see the humanity that he had in the whole thing. He's not the torture. Like he's actually trying to fix these people's lives. And season 5 kind of showed what happened when you remove that. And it becomes Torture House. Like it was just throwing piss and shit at each other and whatever. It didn't have the deepness. And I felt very bad for a character named Bashir, because Bashir understood Fish Tank. He was the first contestant I've ever seen that went into the house fully understanding what Fish Tank is supposed to be, and like very genuinely trying to be a righteous contestant, because that's what it is. Ultimately, it's about being righteous. People think it's about being entertaining. They think it's about whatever. There is a moral through line in Fish Tank. That's what the kind of ruined in season 5 is. The joke was the conventional handsome guy won, and that's just supposed to piss everybody off. And it's like, but that's the joke for your whole season. Is that you gave it to the guy that nobody really kind of wants to win because his life is fine. Like that, because you're Fish Tank fans, you'd naturally hate that guy because he's good looking and his life doesn't suck that bad. Like it's just like, I get it, but damn. Like that's a long way for the juice. Like the juice wasn't worth the squeeze on that particular bit, in my opinion.
But if you're connected back to wrestling, it's like it's hard. I gotta say, it's not easy. They have to figure out who wins, right? And so, a lot of times, wrestling gets it wrong. They decide who's gonna win, and then the fans go, "Fuck that."
Yeah. And it is completely rigged as wrestling too. Like, if they didn't want to get rid of a character, no amount of eliminations and votes would keep that character from coming back onto the show. But anyways, it would. We had this thought the other day, and I'll see. I know you have some things too. Where are we at roughly?
We're halfway.
Sorry, Ed the Sock just texted me.
No, that's okay. I'm still reeling in my head of like I was thinking about this. I was thinking about like you talking about the women thing and stuff. It's true. We used to like be like, hey, titties and puppies and stuff like that. Not just wrestling, like anything. Like
culturally, it was. Yeah,
I love hot women, and you just talk about it.
Yeah.
And then now I've thought about it. I'm like, there's way more like half naked women. Like, you can just watch any video, anything like Megan Thee Stallion, perfect example. What's her name? Cardi B, all this kind of stuff. They're so half naked, barely naked, you know, and yet still we go, well, it's very nice. But I'm not going to talk about it.
even what Kennedy wore last night, and I don't have like I'm not that guy. I don't really particularly care. She's very good about it. Not there's I wish women understood themselves better. Not understood themselves better. That's probably a lie. I wish women were more honest about their intentions and had some accountability, because there is. I don't mind if my girlfriend dresses slutty.
Yeah.
Never really been a problem for me. I probably have exes that would push back on that statement. But there's just a difference in what you can tell the intention of it is. It's like the scenario. It's kind of how they carry themselves about it. The same, two different girls could be dressed the exact same way.
Yeah.
And it can come off in an entirely different manner about it. Like there's just an etiquette about keeping your boyfriend comfortable while dressing slutty that is like very important that goes into it. And I think the girls, they know because they're human creatures the same as us, and they're not a lower form of intelligence. So like they do get it, but they don't want to get it. They kind of it's a thing where it's sort of unspoken. So it's very hard to pinpoint exactly what that thing is, but they can very much use the advantage of like, well, there is no specific thing, so you can't kind of nail me on it, right? But like again, what she was wearing yesterday in 1999 would have like stopped traffic. You know what I mean? Like there would have.
Did she change after? I don't
Yeah.
Okay,
we went home and we were going to a new metal party.
Gotcha.
Okay,
so she wore a very skimpy.
Yeah. But you're right. In the 90s or the early 2000s, we would have had like wolf awooga eyes and like.
I kind of miss an awooga, but
Yeah. The Mask. We were all The Mask for about 8 to 10 years there. Yeah, that movie came out. We all thought it was appropriate to go. Ooh. But also, is that even true, or is that your age? Is it just simply that we grew up at a particular time, and so then we look back at that as a particular way? Were we just 18? You know?
Well, guys, begs the question: is an 18-year-old right now, not one raised by like two super liberal parents or anything, just a regular 18-year-old, not super right wing, not super left wing parents? Are they? What catcalling?
Well, the problem is that none of this matters to any of them because they're fucking sex freak, porn addict, fucking weirdos. You know what I mean? Like they're not really that worried about going out into the street and seeing girls. They're like in a Reddit forum discussing women they've never met in like the most horrific way you ever heard. You know, like their version of that like teen horniness is like coming out in a much darker way than it probably was for us, where we would just go to the mall. You know, like that was our like as a 40-year-old, that was our version of teen horniness. We went to the mall because there was girls there, like, and we could just walk around and go a thong. You know, like in a food court, a girl bent over too much and you could see her strap. You're good enough. It's like, I'm good for like 3 days now, whatever. Now they gotta see like a girl being fucking hung in a dimly lit basement being smacked by shit before like they anything moves, you know?
I was thinking about this recently too, is like I'm like, it's insane that like the more I understood the world of OnlyFans, I signed up for like OnlyFans just to see what it was like someone to $8. I did 1 month
to the surprise of nobody.
Well, I'm a perv, but I literally signed up for someone and then not deleted, but like canceled my subscription like right after, just to say like, okay, I have this month, let's see what this is, right? And I found out it's just like a marketplace for the girl you signed up for to like entice you to be like, hey, buy my videos, and and that's, I realized, that's like how they make millions.
It's like you paid to go to a flea market.
Yes.
It's like there's a $5 admission to a flea market, and now you have a pressure because you're like, well, you paid $5 for this fucking flea market.
Yes.
Now you feel like you need to buy something.
Correct. Yes, that's exactly what it's like. And I realize I'm like, it's insane.
And yes, I am comparing OnlyFans girls to flea markets, just to be clear.
There's no difference.
You are a Turkish bazaar.
Here's the only difference is that you're paying for a flea market, but you have to pay to see each shop. So if I paid for this one girl,
on top of
I can't have access to everybody at that flea market. I can only buy from her shop.
You're paying at each stand, so it's like as if you paid to go to the Gap.
That's right. Yeah.
The gape.
But then I was like, it's insane that like in my like later 20s or whatever, I had people telling me like, oh, it's just like you go to a strip club, it's lame. Like you spend all this money, you get horny and nothing happens. And I guess technically, okay, with OnlyFans you can masterate, but you're not in front of a woman.
But technically, I like your.
Well, like
technically you can.
Yeah.
There's no law against it.
But I'm like I'm now finding saying that a bunch of guys spend a lot of money on a virtual interaction when you could go to a strip club. And I'll tell you the truth secret of that most people don't know. 90% of strip clubs, they will suck your dick for money.
Sure. So, man, I would love, we need to like get this podcast and Goblin and Ogre big enough to just get a Sanker supercut of all of your fucking horny brothel fucking whatever shit. Just like, it's the Joe Rogan N-word video.
Yeah.
Just of you
Me
talking about fucking creepy sex stuff. I'm from Windsor. You don't really have to explain too much, whatever. But forget any of that. Community. Like, there is a community to it. Like, I've never gone to a strip club in my life sexually. Like, at no point ever did I ever go with the express purpose of, like, this is titillation to me.
Right.
I've only ever been as, like, hey, we're dudes, and this is dude fun.
Yeah.
Like, me and Tyler would go on the road because me and Tyler are two hilarious people to go sit in a strip club because we both don't care. We're both unimpressed. We're not whatever. And like, to me, that's the fun. Like, I almost wish you could like, there was like secret recorders at the tables at all strip clubs because dudes are just funny there. It is a place where inappropriateness is acceptable. And you'd think that inappropriateness would be, ooh, lusting after women. But a lot of the inappropriateness is just, we can say wild shit here because there's fucking tits. So like, what are you going to get upset about?
I've been horny at a strip club and enjoyed like that part of it. If you ask me like, what are your favorite strip club stories, you still think about this today? None of them are those. It was like the time my friend got into an argument because she critiqued his French, and then we got the stripper scolded by one of the owners.
So, my favorite strip club story of all time is in Thunder Bay with Tyler, because we had these great gigs in Thunder Bay, and we would say like, hey, after party at whatever it was called. And so we crushed the late show Saturday, and we knew in our heads, we're like, these people are going to be at the strip club. So we walk in, and I got to hit the ATM. So there's a stripper you would enjoy very much, pretty thick black girl.
Okay, yeah.
Not my particular thing, but somebody's, yours.
Yeah.
And
it's one of my particular things.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I like had to brush past her to some degree.
Sure.
But like kept it very like I was, whatever, scoot, arms up, was appropriate about it. But it was the dismissiveness of there being a stripper there kind of set her off. Because there's like a level with strippers where they're like, this is our home, and you're a guest here, and you're whatever. I Lysol just like at home. So this big dick energy started kind of chirping me, and I just grabbed my money out of the ATM. I passed by her again, still the same, whatever. And she thought it was going to be like, oh, whatever. And then me and Tyler turned the corner into the room, and the place goes crazy for us. Like, if there's 80 people at this strip club, 50 of them are there for us. We're easily 60% of this room. So actually watching a stripper have to like shrink down and eat it in her own home was so sad. It was especially like mouthy black girl stripper. That's like the hardest level on the video game is beating mouthy black girl stripper. Like that's fucking the Hitler of, I was just watching a Nazi documentary, so I don't have a better reference point right now than Hitler. It's interesting. I watched this documentary before here, this PBS documentary on these American Nazi camps that they had in the 30s. And what I found very strange is they all spoke with German accents. Like all the American Nazi leaders would all like, like they were speaking English, but they had like That's how like copycat things are.
Yeah.
Is that like they just even wanted to sound like the dude. Like they were like, nah, that just sounds sick. Like,
do you think it's like the gay accent? It's just like what
kind
you
of
admire.
Yeah, they just had the Nazi accent.
Yeah.
Like a diner waitress. A diner waitress has the same accent. Now this is, I mean, we're
Sugar,
probably
honey, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
We're probably losing that a little bit now because the diner accent soon is probably going to be like, oh, thank you. They're coming to diners soon.
Yeah.
But hey, Greeks, hold on. But the Greeks, the final line of diner or whatever. Yeah, those diner monkeys. But yeah, there is gay, Nazi, diner waitress. Those are 3 non-regional specific accents.
Yeah. It's just universal. It's
just across the board.
And I guess maybe news anchor, because they do that.
I would almost call that more of a cadence than an accent.
Okay.
Like there's a manner in which they speak, but not that's also partially teleprompter talking. Like if you're reading entirely off of a teleprompter, like you're gonna talk a particular way at a certain point. But yeah, the Nazi thing, very interesting. I love that no one realizes like how big a Nazi Henry Ford was. Henry Ford was like full Nazi. Henry Ford published a book. It would have already been written, but it wasn't like popular enough for his liking, called The International Jew, which was not in fact a magazine for fancy yarmulkes. It was sort of unsavory. It is interesting, like we are at a very similar time again. You know, you had an immigration thing you wanted to talk about, right? Wasn't there some?
Well, no, I was just I was thinking about pride in your country, because we just passed Canada Day.
Sure.
And then we tomorrow is July 4th.
Absolutely.
250th anniversary of the great land of America.
And by the way, I'm just going to say this right now. Let me get this out of the way. I'm going to hold the phone up so you can see that the date is July 3rd. At 7:53, so that nobody thinks that I had advanced knowledge of this. I think there's going to be. I just want to put this out to see if I'm right, because it'll be crazy and it'll explode. There's going to be a fake terror attack tomorrow. They're going to pull. Trump's just such a hack. You know what I mean? Like, he's so on the nose with everything that I feel like they need a distraction really bad right now.
Yeah.
Like they could. I think it is a funny place that we've gotten to in society where. Like, every so often I get like every few years I get into a fight, like a physical altercation with a gentleman. And, but I can always feel it's coming. Like there'll be a thing and like, it's not 24 hours a day present. I'm not a lunatic. I'm not whatever, but I'll like notice in myself, I'm a little quick to the gun right now, and I feel like the wrong thing is going to set me off of that. It's funny that there's like a similar thing about a fake terrorist attack right now, where like everyone's looking around and they're like, man, things are going really bad, and like there doesn't seem to be like a good way out of how bad things are going.
Yeah.
So like we could really just use a horrifying distraction. Like it's a wonderful time for the nation to have a really scary thing to focus on together.
Interesting.
Maybe aliens tomorrow. Maybe they'll break out aliens.
You're saying there is going to be
something that happens tomorrow that is going to be a giant distraction.
And now this is now Monday. If people are listening to this,
that's why I think this is great, because now they'll literally be like, "Wow, yeah."
Yeah. No, I'm confirming everybody. This is filmed. I mean, not that they give a fuck what I'm confirming, but I'm confirming this is filmed Friday, June 3rd.
July 3rd.
July 3rd.
Yeah.
That would be more impressive. A whole month
a whole month in advance. Yeah.
Oh man,
not that much more.
If you talk to the people out there, there's very little debate anymore that they think Trump has faked a couple of the assassinations, if not at least one of them. That's like, it's like late. We're in like late COVID now, where it's like we all know it was at a lab.
I put this in such a great way one night that I wish I could fucking remember how I said it, because it was like one of those things where this really could have been like in a history book they should have like called it this. But we're like post them even giving a shit if we believe them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, we've reached a point where they're sort of like, well, what can you prove and what can't you prove? Like, they don't actually give a shit if it's plausible. They don't give a shit if we go along with it. It could come out the next day that they're like 83% of people think this is utter horseshit. But can you prove it? And are we going to do anything about it?
Yeah.
You know, like, and that's really where we are. Like you said, people just fully believe. It really is post-Epstein where nobody believes the official story, but nothing's going to happen about it at all.
So it was very revealing when I did the podcast with Lee. He basically admitted, because Lee's like a big conspiracy guy or whatever. He knows about all of them that people say or whatever. All the Alex Jonesy ones, he knows about them.
Yeah, we're going to lose gravity for 7 seconds. August 12th. I can't wait.
Yeah. And not only that, to him, gravity means it's holding us deep down onto the ground. It'll shoot us up.
Yeah. He also doesn't realize how gravity works.
Yeah.
Me and Kennedy were discussing this today because I told her his dumb theory. Yeah. And we both had to take a second to also remember that, like, the cars don't just float up. You would have to, like, tap the bottom of the car to make it go.
There needs a force. Not. But yeah, he like follows that stuff. But he admitted that he has no intention of like ever starting a revolution. He admitted that it would have to be really going, like it would have to already have like 1 million people marching for him to be like, okay, I'm gonna join up.
Yeah.
Which is the reasoning of why it will never, even if we prove any of this, it will never happen, because most people go, I need to see this turn into something.
Well, and what they really did to get us to not, like, the truth is that it's not so much even about what we believe and what we know and what we whatever. The fact of the matter is, the real way to do anything about it is a strike, and nobody's going to take the day off work, and a strike isn't sexy enough for people. People need to feel like Luigi Mangione. We live in a first person syndrome. Like, everyone has first person, your first character, whatever syndrome. And like, so no one's just going to be part of a collective. No one is part of a, like, the Million Man March, but it would be 1 million individual people on their channel showing you their perspective with their own take on what's really happening here and why they're there and why whatever. There's just no community. So like, we're not gonna, we have no ability to sacrifice for each other.
Yeah.
Like, that's why, like, I really think, I don't know if I ever said this, but if I ever became prime minister, I would, and this is going to sound crazy communistic, and I said this to Dave Smith, and he his fucking head almost flew off his shoulders, but I would mandate 2 years public service for every citizen in Canada. If you're newly arrived, same thing. And by public service, I don't mean specifically it could be the military. It almost is the military, but the military means a bunch of things. The military can mean you go work in the forestry, right? Go clean up the forest floors. Go whatever. You do 2 years of that. Not full time. You go for like 3 months. You do it. You come back. You whatever. But in exchange, you get your college. You get your health care. You get your social services. Maybe even a universal basic income by that point if it's necessary. You get all the goodies, but you've earned them in some way. And so people coming to the country, same thing. The same thing I've said about how these people coming to the country, if you want, and I'll get to your point about Canada Day and the pride of it.
Pride in your country.
Pride in your country is service to your country. And so, what was interesting is that I felt very prideful about my country this year because I was surrounded by people not from my country. And there was something about being surrounded by people who have either come here temporarily or permanently that gave me more pride. I think that now that becomes maybe scary, and I think that sometimes that pride can then be used to fuel hatred against those people. But that's really a choice on how you choose to look at it, right? Now, people, Hitlers and modern day Hitlers, use the struggle of people. Again, Hitler wasn't created in a vacuum. Donald Trump wasn't created in a vacuum.
Yeah.
There were conditions. There was the Depression. There was the recession. There are these economic and social things that happen that charismatic charlatans can come take advantage of, right? So, like, if people are hurting, it's very easy to go, well, you're hurting because of these people. Right now, everyone believes they're hurting because of Indians. And soon they're going to be like, and this whole data center thing, now it's AI. Now we've removed it from even humans, where now we're not even blaming it on humans. We're like, no, your suffering is this fucking entity that we're telling you is so powerful and so encompassing. And also, by the way, we have to do this, because if we don't do it, China's going to do it. And oh my God, what happens if China wins? What? Like, nobody will tell you the answer to that. Yeah. They just go, oh, but what if China gets it first? By the way, China's is open. China's AI is open source. They're spending less money on it. They're not using nearly as many data centers because they're not in a closed circuit. Because America only cares about profit. So they've closed this off. Whereas AI in China...
That's a robot falling down the stairs. That's okay. Don't worry. I'm just going to turn mine down a little more, and you don't.
Cool. Theirs is open source, so everyone can contribute. Everyone can learn. You know what's going on with the AI. Like, there's a level of transparency to it, and also for some reason the closed circuit means they use less power. Again, I don't even believe any of this. I think they're just stealing the water and keeping it for themselves. Honestly. If you found out, and I've been joking that they were concentration camps, and maybe that's a fun answer too, but would it not make all the sense in the world if we found out the reason why they're like, we have all these AI data centers, and they're funneling all the water away, and they're taking and all your water is being affected by these data centers, but we can't stop them. But do you remember The Big Short? Did you watch The Big Short?
I didn't watch it. I know the movie. I know what it's about. Yeah.
So the guy in The Big Short, the Christian Bale character, that was the first guy that understood that the housing collapse was coming. What he invested all of his money in afterwards was water, because he understood that water was. And again, I've said this very many times on this podcast that we're about to get back into the era. We're approaching the era of real, where real things matter. And water is a real thing that matters a lot. Mm-hmm. The fact that Canada, do you know why Mark Carney's been put in charge of being kind of the head of the bullshit world now, like the old world's order, I want to say, the new world order, but what is kind of, sort of, they're trying to hold on. Canada's now the head of that. Mark Carney's been put in charge of being the old global order's prime minister. That's because we got all the shit. We got the water. We got the trees. We have oil. And water is the number one. And we have more fresh water than any of these places. That's going to matter. Would it not make sense if the reason they're telling us that these data centers are so important and they use so much water is because they're taking the water? They're keeping the water. They're hoarding it. Like, if it's going to be such a finite resource, why would you not start working on it now? Why would you not guard it? Why would you not keep it for yourself? Why would you not take it out of the public? Why would you not just take it from the public? Into the private,
which is also not a non-existent thing, because you think about the whole the diamonds thing. That diamonds are not a rare resource.
As rare as we believe they are. They are. The supply of diamonds is heavily dispute how much diamonds.
Yeah.
De Beers has something like it's like 1/200th of like the amount of diamonds that exist are actually in the whatever. Yeah, it's the same thing. So why not create the scarcity? Why not hoard it yourself? Why not whatever? I don't believe in AI. I just don't.
Meaning you don't believe it's going to be the big bad evil?
I don't think it's even what they're saying it is now. I think it is money laundering. I think it is job destruction for the sake of job destruction, not because it's better. If you look into these companies, the companies are all reporting it's more expensive. Like that, a lot of these companies are going, oh, humans are actually much cheaper than this AI was.
Yeah.
Right? It's like it doesn't seem to have had any benefit whatsoever. It's a huge financial bubble, and that's not even. I've been talking about it being a financial bubble for 6 to 8 months now, and now it is that's just out there, and none of it makes any sense unless you're to believe that there's something else going on, and there's almost always something else going on.
Are you saying you believe it is? I'll give 2 examples: is crypto, or do you believe it's 3D movies?
I think it's 3D movies.
You think it's because to me 3D movies are. We've really believed for a bit that this is just how we're going to watch movies from now on.
They sold us 3D TVs for our homes.
Yeah.
Thinking that people are going to sit at home with 3D glasses on and watch a film. That's what this is. It's going to become so prohibitively expensive to use that none of us are going to find it worthwhile. You understand, again, I think I broke this down more thoroughly, but in like 2 years' time, for these companies to not crash financially, we need to be paying $30 a month for AI.
Yeah.
Are you willing to pay $30 a month for your ChatGPT?
I don't even use it.
It's because it's Google. It's just Google. It's a Google search.
Yeah,
it's added nothing more to our lives than that.
Yeah, that even if you just have regular Google, AI is the first answer now for free.
Yeah. And is that so now is Google using the same? Why don't we hear about Google's data centers that they need for whatever? Why aren't they expanding their data centers from all this power? Why is it so much more power? Why? Like, nobody can actually explain that to me. Maybe I shouldn't say that. By the way, try to find me somebody. Like, I would love to hear why this all of a sudden needs so much more power than what we had 12 months ago.
Yeah.
24 months ago. What is it? How did this all of a sudden become this fucking dire need for energy? What was Google using? Like coal? Like, what the fuck were they running their search engines on? This has always existed. This is a incremental thing, right? This is not AD, BC, AD. This is not before, after ChatGPT. This is a slow progress that has taken place. So, like, what happened that now all of a sudden Utah they got to steal their water?
I had to think about it. I never thought about that. Like, maybe I'm dumb. The second people say, this takes more, I go, I guess it takes more.
You know what? You know why I think this way? This comes from, and we should probably end what are we at?
Yeah, we're 3 minutes left, probably to an hour. Yeah.
And maybe this makes me dumb. But as a kid, I never understood when you turn the tap on, say you're brushing your teeth, right? Yeah. And they always say, conserve water. Make sure you turn the tap off while you brush your teeth. Why is that water wasted?
No, because,
it's a closed system. It goes back into the thing. I get that we clean it. I understand there's an energy cost till we filter the water, whatever. I get that that's not 100%. But why is that wasted? I've never got that. And I understand maybe that's super simplistic and stupid, and there's an answer to that like I'd feel like a retard for not knowing. But there was just always something about that bothered me.
I think that's a misnomer. I don't think that's the right word, but like I think that's they're not exactly saying it right. I think that's a parent's water bill statement. That's the yeah.
That's if someone hits your back while you cross your eyes, they might stay that way.
Yeah, it's just
a little white parent lie.
But it's the same thing as like leaving the lights on, leaving the TV on. My dad was big on that or whatever. That like you're running the water and you're brushing your teeth into thing. If you ran that water into just a glass and sipped it, brush your teeth, sipped it, you're saving money. And I think that's what they're trying, but they call it wasting water because everything is sellable. That's what I realized is everything's marketing, and even our parents are marketing a danger to us
Yeah, absolutely. You have to do little lies and whatever.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
that's what fairy tales were, right? I mean, they were little things to make us little morality plays to make us understand things. Parents have those same thing. Like, the tooth fairy is supposed to be because it's like, well, take care of your teeth and then you get a fucking $1 for it or whatever. Not that if you had shitty, crummy teeth, you didn't still get the $1, but like, it made you think about it a little bit. It put some value on what's important. Your teeth are important.
Yeah, you gotta. Yeah. I remembered something about the Pride thing. That one of the reasons I wanted to mention to you is this is just a funny thing that you don't even have to comment on. But I took an Uber the day after because I told you I had that car trouble or whatever. So I took an Uber the day after Canada Day, July 2nd. And I talked about, I couldn't believe like my car went kaput like on Canada Day. That fucking sucks or whatever. And the Uber driver, who was my type of ancestral foreign, so I'm not even being the racist guy. Maybe if it was a Chinese guy, you could accuse me of that. But this is technically my people. He goes, "Oh, when was Canada Day?" And there was something about him asking me that question that couldn't have made me more mad.
It like just pissed you off, and
it pissed me off. I'm like, you don't even know. Like it's you moved here. I just picture in my head like, yo, it's I'll acknowledge this. It's my new home or whatever.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Oh, when is Canada Day?" Now I'll give him respect. He's Uber, so he doesn't get the day off. He every day is. But still, it's made me mad.
Well, and you said the people going, "Oh, should we even celebrate America's 250th birthday?" And you whatever. It's like all this stuff is just very silly. In that, like, okay, but you're still a great. Wow.
That's. I wish I could isolate that, and that's how your podcast ends every.
Of course you should celebrate the 250th, but not that much. Like, it's just both sides are stupid. Anybody who is like takes too much pride in it, and that's what does get scary about my feeling that I had on the first, being surrounded by people who, like, I was tempted to go out loud, like, "Hey, who was born here?" Just to see how like few people were actually born here, and like, but it did feel prideful because people, like, what people forget about immigration is a lot of these people have risked their lives. Like, the immigration process is not simple, and it kind of goes for Americans more so than anything. These people who, like, paid a coyote to fucking bring them through South America to try to cross the border for a chance of whatever. Like, they're not doing this willy nilly. Like, they're not doing it for the fun of it. Like, there's a real reason why they're coming here, and you should be proud of that, regardless. Like, and like, do you need to be like? What a pathetic give up attitude to have, to be like, we shouldn't even celebrate this thing. That means you, motherfucker. Like, that also means you. Like, you're part of this. And you can go, I'm mad at 51% and I'm only 49%. But you're 49% of this shit. So, like, you can do something every day to make an immigrant feel comfortable. You could be nice to an Uber Eats driver and go, "Hey, man, I hope people treat you." There are so many small things that if you took the time in your day to make the world a better place for those people, that you could be proud of. If you're looking at your country and going, "I'm ashamed of it and I'm not proud," that's probably something you're feeling about you. That's an internalized shame that you have because you're not doing something every day to make your country fucking better. And like, that can sound so fucking corny and so whatever. Same as this 2 years public service and whatever. But no, this is a place. Like, this is an idea, a shared idea that we have here. And I want to dictate to you what other micro ideas you can have. Hey, you should know when Canada Day is, but you should also celebrate fucking Sri Lanka Day or whatever. Have that too. I don't mind that. I'm not saying get rid of your thing, but yeah, you should probably know you risked your life to come here. Maybe think about that. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like in a lot of ways I have risked my life for comedy, both physical at times. I've been in a car accident, I've been in a lot of crazy hellish gigs with terrible drives that I probably shouldn't have done. But I mean more so in the sense of comfort And what I'm a fairly intelligent guy, probably a lot of things I could have been doing with my life that would appear to be more comfortable and productive to other people. I've kind of risked my life for this.
Yeah.
So I respect it. You know, like, I think a lot of the problems in comedy come from people who haven't put enough in. I think if you look at the people who complain about other people in comedy and spend a lot of their time kind of being like a negative force, they also didn't contribute that much. Their stake isn't that high in it. Why you don't see a lot of that shit in New York City is because everybody's put up a lot to the poker table to be where they're at, and they're not going to then take that away from somebody else because they know how much that person also put in, right? And I think that you should probably view the country you're living in the same way if you're not from there. If you did all this to get to a place because you thought that place was going to provide you a better life, there should be some deference you pay to that place.
Sure.
Now, the people born here have also just received that lottery ticket, and that you should also pay deference to that place. And there is a scary line of nationalism and pride that gets taken out of control. You also do need to remember you have very little to do with why this place is great. And a lot of you on a day-to-day basis do things to make it worse. You give away our rights. You give away our freedoms. You give away our ideas. You do this all the time. But there are lots of people that make the world better every day. So instead of going, I don't want to celebrate the 4th of July tomorrow, how would you go, I'm going to make the country better for somebody I don't know tomorrow. I'm going to take an immigrant and I'm going to, or fuck even being an immigrant. Instead of not celebrating the 4th of July tomorrow, why don't you be what's right about America? Why don't you be the thing that's aspirational and better and stop just complaining? The ring light has died, and so has this episode. Have a good night. Goodbye.